What's going on with y'all? It's Jeff Lightsy Jr. here with the Ball Sports Network. Thank you guys for the continued support. Hit the thumbs up button, like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Now, the NBA, man, the bubble is really heating up. We got our first big upset of the bubble as the Orlando Magic came away with the 122-110 win over the Milwaukee Bucks, the 1 seed in the East. Now, here's the thing about the bubble. There's no home court advantage. Now, obviously, we've been talking about that, but where does that matter most? In the playoffs. And teams have to self-motivate in order to get wins in the playoffs because there's no crowd, there's no favorable whistles as people believe happens at home. There's none of that. Is because everybody's on the even playing field. There's no fans. You're all playing Orlando in the bubble when it's playoff basketball. Now the thing about Milwaukee is that they're the favorites over in the East, and they have everything to lose, whereas the Orlando Magic are just happy to be here. Now, the Magic did a similar thing to the Toronto Raptors last year as they beat them in the first game of the playoffs, and then the Raptors, as we know, went on to win the championship. By no means do I believe the Magic are going to win this series, right? But this playoffs in the bubble does give teams, I guess the lower-seeded teams, more of an even playing field and an advantage over the higher seeded teams simply because there is no crowd. You're not going against favorable whistles. You're not going against home court advantage, right? So in a best out of 7-game series, you have a better chance. All of those factors in to you have trying to pull off an upset. This would be the year that an 8 seed would upset a 1 seed again because of the way the bubble is set up. And now a lot of people think that's going to take place over in the Western Conference series as LeBron and the Lakers take on the Blazers, but the Orlando Magic were able to come away with a big win, I think, because due to a lot of those factors. Now, the biggest reason why the Magic were able to win is because Chris Middleton just didn't play well. I mean, I'm going to just be honest. Chris Middleton shot 4 for 12, 14 points. He just had a bad game. And that will ultimately be the reason why the Bucks don't win a championship. I'm not even so sure if the Bucks will make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. I think they will make it, but the ultimate reason why people want Giannis out of Milwaukee is because Chris Middleton. He's just not a Robin. He's not the number 2 guy that you need in the NBA most of the time. I mean, now in today's game, especially the way it's set up right now to win a championship. There's dynamic duos all across the league. You got Kyrie and KD coming back for Brooklyn next year. You got LeBron and AD. You got Kawhi and the Clippers. You got Steph and Clay coming back. Now, most of those are in the Western Conference. But the Celtics have a little trio. Really, Jason Tatum and Kemba Walker are the 2 main guys over in the Eastern Conference. Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid, they won't. I don't know if they're together next year. They don't work. But mainly you have a bunch of duos, mainly in the Western Conference, but all around the league that are going to be better than this Milwaukee team. And Chris Middleton is cool. He's all right, but he's a limited player. He is not a guy that you match up against the second best player on these teams that we believe are the favorites to win a championship. And that is ultimately why a lot of people want Giannis to leave Milwaukee. And I think if there's going to be a reason that Giannis leaves, I think Giannis is going to be a Damian Lillard type of guy, right? But if there is a reason why Giannis would leave Milwaukee, it's because of Chris Middleton. He's not that guy. Just like C.J. McCullough isn't that guy in Portland. Like C.J. McCullough is a good NBA player. Chris Middleton, really good, talented NBA players. They can't be your second best player if you're trying to win a championship, unless you're just gonna have a bunch of circumstance fall your way, right? Like for Kawhi, I guess you could say the second best player on his team in Toronto last year was Pascal Siakam, right? But a lot of things happened for Kawhi for them to win the championship. They got a lucky bounce against the 76ers. LeBron James missed the playoffs. I mean, say what you want, he missed the playoffs. That matters. And then ultimately, Kevin Durant was hurt in the playoffs, right? Like Kevin Durant got injured and Klay Thompson got hurt for the Golden State Warriors. They missed 2 of the 3 best players on the team as Kawhi went on to win the championship. So that kind of stuff matters. And so unless Milwaukee has surrounded Giannis essentially with the best that they can put together. Right? They have essentially surrounded him. But Chris Middleton shooting 4 for 12 against teams like the Orlando Magic in the first round of the playoffs, that just shouldn't happen. That can't happen. Like I said, it's a bad game. Milwaukee will probably go on to win the next 4 games. But 2 things we learned today from this Milwaukee-Orlando game. The bubble gives the lower seed team a crazy advantage. It makes the playing field more even. And if Milwaukee leaves, it's because Chris Middleton isn't a good enough Robin. He just isn't good enough. And then there isn't a third guy that we can just rely on for Milwaukee to come in and make plays, come in and get buckets, come in and make big stops. I mean, Giannis gives you 31 and 17, and you lose to the 8th seed in the first round of the playoffs. These games matter. You can't do that. I'm sorry, Chris Middleton. He's just not it. He's just not that guy. Once again, my name is Jeff Lightsy Jr. with the Ball Sports Network. Thank you guys for watching. Continue the love and support. Like, subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and share this video. We'll see you next time.